What's goody with my Eagle Nation? It's your boy Kylie Eagle. And so I'm looking at practice, and we got a lot of good things going, you know what I'm saying? D-Jax, still limited, so 2 days in a row we got limited practice. Journey, limited 2 days in a row. Sproles, limited 2 days in a row. And Sadejo's limited. So, and, Vontae was back in full 2 days in a row. Miles Sanders came back full again. So, a lot of good things was going on the roster. Brooks was out with an illness today. We'll see what that's going to be looking like. I don't have all the information on that for real. But I've been looking at a lot of the matchups going into this weekend. I wanted to see if there's any area, assuming we handle our job, we handle business against these Bears, are we going to have anywhere we can move up in the rankings? Where are all the other teams at? And it is so thick in the NFC, bro. We are 500, but we are 10th in the standings in our conference. It's ridiculous. And the matchups ain't doing us a whole lot of favors right now. Let's be all the way real with this right now. They're not really trying to bless us. The Niners, 7-0, got the Cardinals tonight. I know it's a division game. I don't like it, though. Like, a couple of Niner fans at work are trying to pretend like they're nervous. Like, you never know in these division games. Shut up. Y'all finna beat the Cardinals. Fuck y'all. I hate you. They're finna be 8-0 probably. The Saints was like 7-1. Or like 7-1, and they're on the bye, so no movement there. The Packers are 7-1, and they get the Chargers, so they probably go to 8-1. The two wild card spots are both 6-2 teams, the Seahawks and the Vikings. The Seahawks are playing the Bucks at home. Probably maintain, this domination they got going. They're probably moving 7-2. The Vikings got the Chiefs at home. So that is slightly different for all the other teams in this playoff race. They got the Chiefs in Arrowhead, so that might be a little bit of rougher game, you know what I'm saying? The Chiefs have taken a couple games in a row, losses. I don't see Andy Reid allowing that for too long, but, Pat Mahomes isn't healthy. So chances are they might be able to get this done. They don't really, I know they got the backup QB and he played well against the Packers. The Minnesota defense is a little bit different. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But outside of those, though, and then the Rams right outside the playoff race are on a bye as well. So outside of those games, those pretty much look like to me there's not going to be a lot of movement out of those teams. But there's a couple spots, you know what I'm saying, where we got a little area to move in possibly. The two teams right above us are the Lions and the Panthers. The Lions at 9, the Panthers at 8. The Lions have to play the Raiders in Oakland. Raiders about 3-4. A lot of the time over the years, except for like that one outlier year, a couple years, the year before we won the Super Bowl, they was balling. But outside of that, they've been, ass for most of the time. I've been telling them for years. They don't really like me all the time, but I'm not really on the negative hype right now. Not only because I need them to help us move up in the rankings, but honestly, I've been aware that, they've been doing solid on the offensive line. They got a running back who's been balling. And then last week was the first game they had Tyrell Williams back in the lineup, and when he came back in, Derek Carr put up 3 touchdowns. So they're finally able, us being us, we know what it's like to be lacking a deep threat weapon, and we know what kind of difference it can make for your offense. And I believe, John Gruden definitely does fall off of that West Coast style offense. So it's extremely detrimental to have that deep threat, and they've been lacking that as well, and they hit that piece back. And Lions, traded Quandre Diggs recently. So with the deep threat coming back to the Raiders, the Lions gave up their safety, and the Raiders are able to run the ball so well. I think they have a good game against them. On top of the fact that Kerryon Johnson is out, so they're going to be able to stop their run better against these guys. So I expect the Raiders to pull out that victory. The Panthers, I'm not quite as sure on. They have the Tennessee at home. It's a game where I wouldn't be completely shocked if Tennessee was able to get it done. They do have a couple of good pieces. The Panthers had looked really good until, the Niners did what they did to them last week. So there's a chance the Panthers, will just get right back on it and handle business. But maybe, the Niners expose them. Maybe Tennessee come in and run all over them. So I feel like that is a place where we have potential to move up. The Panthers sit there 4-3. They take an L. They'll be 4-4. If we handle our business, we'd be 5-4. We go up. And then the other spot, the obvious spot, the hopefully spot, the Cowboys got the Giants at New York. They're a game ahead of us. They send out 4-3. If they took L, they'd go to 4-4. If we handle business, we go 5-4. Then we shoot up to 4. So that's the area where we can really make a jump in the standings. But we'd still have to handle business going forward. So I'm a little bit more iffy on whether or not the Giants can get the job done. I do see a way they could, given that Saquon Barkley is back in the lineup. So it'll be finally Saquon and Daniel Jones. I think when the Cowboys played them last time, they got the benefit of playing Eli. The Giants have been a completely different team with Daniel Jones in the lineup. And with Daniel and Saquon finally being in the lineup together as of recently, let's just see how they put it together. Hopefully they get it done. But tell me what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, tell me what you think on if maybe you think the matchups play a little bit different. But this is your boy Cali Eagle, and I'm out.